Hey guys.
Hello.
So today we just want to continue our story. So we decided to call our son Selah, which means to pause and reflect. We took time with him, spoke to him about his future, and
Took some photos.
yes, took some photos. We have some photos.
So
I
glad
think
we have that.
that's something that we didn't say in the previous video. If you go through something like this, take pictures.
Yes.
Because you need to acknowledge that this happened, and you need something that you can look back to remind you of that. There's a lot of people that regret not having photos because it happened so.
It's all you have to make it real for your mind.
Yes. And so in that process, I think after this happened, how Driekie and I dealt with this was very different. I think it's different for a man and a woman. And I think for us, the thing that we learned in that process is to create that space for one another to deal with it in our own unique way.
Yes, I think for me, and I think a lot of women that went through this or are going through this will relate with me. In that moment, you just feel like you want to go and sit somewhere on an island, all by yourself, with no people there, nobody to talk to. Even though you love your family and your other kids that's still there, you really just feel like you want to be alone. Like with all the love in the world that you have for them, you don't even want to be with them. It's the strangest thing I think that I experienced in this process. I didn't really wanted to see people or talk about it or. And Gerrit.
For me again, I desperately needed people.
Yes.
I had to talk about this because the way that we process grief, and that's also something, if you're looking at this video, Driekie processed, still process grief by being alone.
Yes.
I process grief by talking about it.
Yes.
And there's no right and wrong way. So I think the most amazing thing that happened in that moment is we had wonderful friends that, after this happened, invited us to come to Cape Town for a week and just come and recover, just be. And what was great about this
we knew that they were the kind of people that would just let us, be there. Not expecting anything or no program or nothing, just be there.
So we get into the car, and the person that we get into the car on our way to the airport, and the person that lovingly offered to take us to the airport, there was a conversation, about death and grief and all of that.
Yeah, I think the guy also lost a son. And when he started talking about his son and how he lost his son and his experience with God and his faith taking a knock, in that moment I felt like, can you just stop talking? I don't want to talk, I don't want to listen, I just want to get to the airport. And in that moment while he was talking, something happened in me. I remembered clearly how real can we get?
This is what's needed.
Yes. I remember in that moment God saying to me, because this guy was talking about how his faith took a knock. And I remember God clearly asking me, Driekie, in a few years from now, what will you tell people? Will you tell them how I disappointed you, how badly I disappointed you in not healing your baby? And I had to find the answer within myself in that moment. And I realized that the day that I decided to give my life to Jesus Christ. Although we came out of a family that was serving God, I had to make that decision for myself. But the day that I chose Jesus, there was no contract that stipulated that I will follow Jesus if he would heal my son someday. There was no
promises,
no
guarantees.
I chose Jesus because of what he already did. He already gave his life for me. So I had a moment in the car where I chose Jesus again.
Yes.
And today, the love for my Savior is bigger than it's ever been before.
Yes.
I know that I will see my Jesus and my son someday.
Yes.
So I don't know how to explain this. It's only the Holy Spirit that can do this in your life. I thought I loved Jesus before, and I thought I chose him, like really chose him. But God came and he challenged me in that moment while I was dealing with this. He challenged me on this one thing, to be sure why I serve him, to make to really make sure why I serve him. I don't serve him for all that he can do for me. I think a lot of people out there really sometimes have the idea in their heads that by serving God, it's like a magic wand. When I want something, you just say God, and God would just take care of everything. No, we choose God because he already gave his life.
Yes.
I cannot, if my friend jumps in front of a bullet for me, reject him or write him off the moment when he decides not to do it for somebody else. What God revealed to me is that God is God. Sometimes he decides to do things, sometimes he just decides not to do it. And we as people, as his children, need to accept that fact.
Yes.
That we use 7% of our brain and we want to figure God out with it. No, sometimes God does things and sometimes he doesn't. And we need to be okay with it. We need to serve him for the God that he is, for the fact that he gave his life and that we want to see him someday again. So yes, I made that clear for myself. And yes, that's where the healing process started. Because actually we couldn't do it without God. And I'm so glad he came in that moment of brokenness. And he helped me get my eyes on him again after I felt so disappointed.
Yes.
But he's faithful. We have another son today.
Yes.
Skoa. And I even sometimes see our baby Selah's face when I look at him. So he's so faithful. And I thank God for that blessing today.
So we want to encourage you today. Take time. Deal with it in your own way. Whatever you need to do, do that. God bless you.